My vision for this car was, as you see it, a wide body 2002 in the Schnitzer flared kind of fashion. I saw these things racing when I was a kid at Laguna Seca, and always wanted to have one or build one or do something, so the time was right, and I wanted to do everything myself. So. My name's Michael, and this is my 1974 BMW 2002. My father, having to fix our own cars, when they broke down or something, didn't have a heck of a lot of money to just drop it off at a mechanic. So, my dad's just basically get the part, read the book, learn how to do it. So I kind of learned from him. The first motor that I built was a Chevy V8. It was for a 67 Chevelle, it was my first car. So that gives you a lot of confidence to go forward and do things that you may not have done before. My dad planted the seed, and I kind of went off into the motorsports aspect of it. He's always been into motorsports because he took us to Laguna Seca, I think, every year since I was 8 years old. It made an impact on me. I always wanted to race that track, never been on it, but I would like to try. And that's what this thing is for. I'd love to get it on there and try it out. And maybe my dad can take some pictures of me down, He'd enjoy that too. Yeah, so that's where my love of cars comes from, basically, my dad, and like I said, I kind of shot off on a motorsports vein because because of him bringing us to the track and stuff. So. Bought it in 2006. It was sitting in a parking lot of an independent Porsche repair shop. On another previous project, I wrote a lot of checks, and that's nice. You wind up with a nice product, but to do it yourself, to do everything yourself, I think it means a lot more. So in this project, I wanted to do everything myself. So it was bone stock, no flares or anything. I saw these flares from a buddy of mine in San Jose. I traded some Recaro seats for them. Came back, I had to rehab them a lot. They were pretty beat up. I didn't know anything about body work, so I had to figure that out. I took a class at El Camino College. They said you could work on your own car. They prefer you drive them in and drive them out when you're done, so got it running right and everything else. Drove it in. About 8 semesters later, I was done. First paint job, first foray into body work, real body work. Had a lot of runs in the paint job, had to razor blade a lot of them out, but came out pretty good for a first try. The motor is a 2-liter. It's a 292 Schrick cam, single Schrick springs. It's got 40 Webers, 34 chokes, shorty header from Ireland Engineering, and basically just a 4-speed. The pistons are 9.5 to 1 piano tops, your European TIIs. It's about 130, 135 horse. The car weighs about 2480 with me in it, 3/4 of a tank. It's all been corner balanced and adjusted and everything, so it's really nice in the canyons. Can't wait to get it on like Streets of Willow or something like that to kind of see what it can do. It'd be pretty fun. The cage, I did not build the cage myself. That was a buddy of mine, Jim Pierce. He built my cage for me. I did the interior. I assembled the motor. I did the coilover suspension on the car. I bought the parts, but I did some welding and stuff for myself. So just little things that I did to the car. Boxed all the arms on the car. Just things to make it stiffer, less roll in the corners. Basically, I like that planted feel where you can kind of feel everything. like that feeling. I know that people have different schools of thought. You either build a race car or you build a street car. A hybrid of the both is never going to be best at two things. But I like, a regular interior, if not Spartan, and a race car feel. That's just what I like. I don't mind the bumpiness of the ride. My wife really doesn't mind it either now. She's used to it. Yeah, it's a fun way to drive, taking the car in the canyons or spirited driving or something. I like that feel. So I think it's the proportion. It kind of seems odd that the roof seems really high and the body on this one is really wide. So I just like the proportions, and like I said, seeing these things race on a track like Laguna when I was a kid, I somehow was drawn to that. I felt the need to build one myself. I think it's just the power to weight too. You can put a 180, 200 horsepower motor in these things, and they're just a go-kart. This one is fine with 140, 135, 140 horse. I'd like to build a turbo motor for it, but then it's upgrade brakes, upgrade the rear end, and everything else. So it's a whole different project. If I could do that myself, I would. I've got a block sitting over there, but we'll see how far it goes. It's just accumulating some cash and some parts and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see if it goes. I just want to have some fun with this for a while.